Hey everyone, it's Jenny. Welcome to another process video. This layout is made using this sketch here and is a part of my Facebook group, which is a kit challenge group, and we are using the Craft Market collection by Crate Paper. And so I also have some other little bits and pieces from other different Crate Paper collections as well, to just help to extend the kit a little bit more. So you will see me with my phone out flicking back and forth trying to have a look at the sketch. So I have tried sketches before and failed miserably. I don't particularly like them, but this was, one of the challenges was to use a sketch, so I am using that. I think for me, I prefer just to pull out my papers and just do whatever I feel like. So going back and forth, checking the sketch, trying to make sure that I was on the right path was actually more time consuming than not. So it actually took me much longer to do. But, I did enjoy it, and I actually then challenged myself to do another one as well. I like the layout in the end. So, all is good. So here's that hello again. So I have tried to use that in many layouts, and here I am trying to use it again. And no matter where I tilted it, I was either cutting off someone's face, and so it went back into that little 12 by 12 chipboard sticker sheet thing, and it will not get used on this layout, but it will get used on another layout. So you saw me just rip this piece of paper with a ruler so that I can have a little bit of a rough edge, and there I go, having a bit of a look again. And so I've placed a strip down on the right hand side, and I'm wanting to add some layers underneath the photo. And there was also a circle element on the sketch, and so here I go with this whopping big doily, and I'm trying to visualize it being cut off, the piece that's hanging over the side, but it's too big for me. I don't really like it, so I'm just going in my stash and I've pulled out this smaller doily, and in the end you can only see the most tiny little bit hanging out from the top anyway. But it is another little layer of visual interest, so I'm keeping that in there. So there was a branding strip from one of the pieces of paper that had this scalloped edge, so I just trimmed that down, fussy cut with my scissors, and have incorporated that into the layout. So just trying to make that little circle die cut work, and putting it around at different places on the page, and I'm not going to use it at all. So I've got these little stickers. The sticker that says love you was from Kaiser Craft. They were from the Shine Bright collection, so I have used them lots in different layouts over the recent times, and I find that they are really good value for money because they're black, so they really contrast with the lighter colours, and they stand out and they look really good. So I've decided that yes, this is where I need to put things, and I'm just starting to assemble the page so that I can work out where I'm going to put those photos and commit to sticking those down as well. So just building up some of those little paper elements. And these photos are all taken at different times, and so there is my son Isaac with a friend's dog called Diesel, and Johanna and Isaac house sat her house while she was away on a holiday in Thailand, I think it was, and so they loved her big dog. We've only got a little dog, and so they really loved this big dog, and she enjoyed having them there. And then there is Isaac, and he and I went out for food together. So that's him enjoying his Sunday and just, having a laugh. And then there are photos of me and my family, which you are probably sick of seeing because it's the same photo that I have scrapbooked for the last 4 layouts, I think. And you're probably thinking, why does she scrap the same photos over and over again? Hey, it's just what I do. And, you know, I'm looking at it as I probably won't keep all of these layouts. So Johanna can have one, Isaac can have one. I've got a few spares. And, you know, basically I don't mind. They make me happy. I like looking at the photos of my family. So I've printed them off. So I'm not wasting anything. So I'm quite happy with that. So that's what that is all about. So as you can see, I've got that chipboard banner there that says you and me. So I'm trying to incorporate that into the layout. And so this layout, like I said, you know, it took me forever. It took me forever not actually, you know, knowing where I was going to put things or, you know, deciding where I was going to put things. So it is a long process of, you know, putting things down and taking them off. And there I make the mistake. I put that frame down and go, oh no, that's terrible. And if any of you, you know, use these chipboard pieces or anything sticky, you know that once they are on a photo, they are pretty much stuck for life. But I was going to have a battle with this thing. I was going to do battle and I am going to win. And I get the photo off the chipboard and stick it back down. Had a little bit of sticky residue in one corner, but you know, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I was happy to at least have, you know, just remove the photo, and because it looked hideous, that frame. Sometimes the frames work, sometimes they don't, but you know, sometimes it's just a matter of sticking it down and not being able to tell until it has actually stuck down. So I'm just grabbing some elements from that sticker sheet, the chipboard sheet, and just, you know, placing them on the layout and trying to make everything work. Pulling some random pieces of ephemera out of the little die cut pack, or the ephemera pack, and trying to get them to work on the layout as well. And like I said, you know, sometimes for me it is a matter of visually seeing what it's going to be like. So laying things down and pulling them up and, you know, just seeing whether I actually like it once they're there or whether I want to get rid of them. So I really liked this wood grain pattern. I don't often like wood grain pieces of paper. They seem a little bit boring to me. But I wanted to incorporate it into a layout. You know, it's a pity wasting the piece of paper. And I really enjoyed adding it with that white and red chevron pattern that I've got tucked underneath. So that for me just broke up the plainness of the wood grain paper and just added a little bit of colour and an extra little bit of dimension. So I have got those sticky words there stuck down, and I have tucked a little number 2 card under there. So the title really could read Love You and then the number 2. So Love You Too, because, you know, it's Gav and Isaac in there. Johanna isn't in this one, so it's my 2 boys. So I thought that that worked out really well. And here I go with these puffy stickers and one of the chipboard buttons. And I don't really like the puffy stickers. I said in one of my other process videos that I don't know if mine were broken but they just are a bit deflated and they're just like a little bits of rubber. So they're a bit plain and boring, so I don't particularly like them, but I'm trying to make them work. But there you go, I pulled them off. So there I am adjusting this little top cluster and wanting to add something extra to that. So I've added a couple of little tags underneath, and then I've added a chipboard piece that says Pretty Awesome. So just trying to make that work, because when I pulled something else off it left a hole in the page, so I knew that I needed to trim that down a little bit, or trim something down and cover where I had left a hole. So just fussing around with that little place, and yeah, just trying to make it all work and all look appealing to my eye, whilst checking back on the photo, making sure that I am actually doing it right. I know that with layout sketches you don't have to follow them to the T, but for me, when I've got a layout sketch, that seems to be what I want to do. So I just tend to want to follow it and do exactly how it was on the actual sketch itself. So, but I'm looking and thinking, there are areas on this page that I really want to fill up a little bit. So I start to do that with some of the little die cut bits and pieces. So it's just a matter of nestling them in there. And if there's only half a card that's going to be poking out, I think that it's a waste to actually use the whole card. So as you can see, I've cut that little tag in half, and I'm using half of it down the bottom under the love you and the other section up there where I am now. And you saw that it was a bit long and I had got lots of sticky tape underneath the photo, so I couldn't quite get it in there. So I actually just trimmed a little bit down, but don't want to waste that. So I've actually stuck that little bit of gold piece on top of that little banner, and so it tricks your eye to think that that little gold piece runs all the way down the length of the banner, but it doesn't. It's just a tiny little square or edge that I actually cut off. So I've just gone and got my stamp because like I said in one of my other layouts, I'm actually using the other side of this piece of paper. So it was one of those pieces that I couldn't decide which piece I want to use, so I'm using both, and so therefore I don't want to add my black splatters. So I'm just using this little ink blob stamp and just making it look like I have added some black splatters, and it doesn't seep through the page to the other side. So you can see that the stamp at the top that went over the crease of two pieces of paper didn't quite work, but I fixed that up later on by just grabbing a black texture and filling that in a little bit. So I've just grabbed some, what is that one, Prima color spray or something, and I've just put a little bit of blue onto the page, so when that dries up you can hardly see that at all. And now I've just pulled out my distress markers and I've scribbled a little bit on an acrylic block, and I'm using a water brush that has water in the barrel, and I'm just picking up some of that water and I'm just adding a little bit of shading around the page. So nothing too bright and daring, so just adds a little bit of a sepia look to the page. And I think that it is wild honey or mustard something. Sorry, I can't tell you, I haven't got it on me right now, but I think that it could be like wild honey or something like that, which actually adds a nice subtle look to the page. So I think that I am just about done putting on this stuff. I hope that I've got some stills. I made this one a while ago, so I can't quite remember exactly what's happening on the page. I can see that my time is just about run out, so I'm assuming that I've got some stills for you at the end, but perhaps I could be wrong. And there I can see that I've actually stuck some little enamel dots down as well that weren't there before. So I will leave you there, and thank you for joining me today, and I appreciate you visiting with me and leaving me comments and hitting that like button. And I will see you next time. Bye.